We've already talked about the beginning of this episode, but now it's time for me to talk about the insane final battle we got for this episode. This episode was jammed-packed with crazy moments. I can't wait to talk about them. This is part 2 of my breakdown for watching and dreaming, so let's get straight into it. Belos continues to corrupt his castle and all of the Boiling Isles, causing many people to flee. Luz, Ida, King, and the Collector make their way to the castle to figure out what Belos is doing and to stop him. This is where we see what I'm going to call Titan Belos for the first time. I know we're supposed to hate Belos and all, but why does he always get some of the coolest designs in the show? Belos starts to blast all of the Boiling Isles, which continues to corrupt it. King states that they have no way of beating Belos, but the Collector says that he knows how. The Collector begins to charge at Belos, and just when we think the Collector is about to kill Belos once and for all, he instead pulls a Steven Universe and says that all Belos needed was kindness and forgiveness. This face probably sums up most of our reactions. We can pretty much all agree that some kindness and forgiveness would have never worked on Belos. The man has been trying to kill all witches after one hooked up with his brother for over 300 years. He is way too far gone. Then again, we can't blame the Collector for trying this. Luz just taught him about all of that, so it's reasonable for him to assume that it would work, since again, he's just a kid. The Collector's efforts were sadly ineffective, and Belos starts to attack the Collector with another energy blast. Before he is able to attack the Collector, Luz flies on String Bean and takes the hit for the Collector. Slowly, Luz starts to turn into light glyphs and tells Ida and King that they're going to be separated again, and that she still didn't know what to say. The Collector, confused about what happened to Luz, asks where'd she go. As the light glyphs float across the Boiling Isles, they are able to make their way to the Collector's collection room, and Puppet Camila starts to cry. The Collector tries to bring back Luz, but his powers are ineffective, most likely because we see later that he still got hit by some of the blast. Another reason it may not have worked is because Luz died from Titan Belos, and since the Collector's magic doesn't work on Titans, maybe his powers were ineffective. Before the Collector gets hit by another blast, King comes in and saves the Collector by putting a shield around him, and we can see some glyphs around the shield that are unique to King, which we see in the time skip. Ida also transforms into a much stronger Alabe's form, and Ida and King start to fight Belos. Luz's death scene was kind of similar to Anne's death scene, as they both do turn into something that floats off into the air. Now that I think about it, it was expected that Luz would make the sacrifice play, as we've already seen both Ida and King do it already. Something that I found interesting is Camila crying when the light glyphs flowed past her. Maybe since Camila is Luz's mom, she was able to feel her daughter's essence in the light glyphs. As the light glyph flies through the sky, it ends up in the in-between realm and turns into Luz. Before Luz sinks into the water, she is saved by none other than King's dad, and I love his design. The bathrobe and the pants really make him look just like a dad. He's also apparently voiced by Aaron Hansen, aka one of the Game Grumps. Also, I need these pants in my life right now. One weird thing about his design, however, is the miniature-sized hoodie in his eye. I don't know if that means that hoodie came from King's dad, or if it's just an accessory. Either way, it's still weird. Luz and King's dad talk about how they both made mistakes in the past, but those mistakes don't make them worse than Belos, since all he wants to be is the hero in his own delusion, as King's dad refers to it. Sadly, King's dad is slowly dying since Belos took over the Titan, so he offers the little power he has left to Luz to defeat Belos once and for all, which Luz accepts. And as Luz gets sent back to the demon realm, we see what King's dad looked like in his true form. Another amazing design, and this scene, along with the music we got for it, was so hype. We then cut back to the collection room, and we see that the Hex Squad was able to free Camila from her puppet state as well. Realizing that the room is collapsing and that they need to free everyone, Amity tries to use her magic, but it doesn't work since she and everyone else haven't gotten sleep in days. So Camila says that she knows another way they can help, which is using glyphs. When they ask about Luz, Camila says that Luz is in Noseda and she will be fine, while wiping a tear. She probably does know that Luz is dead, but she doesn't want to tell anyone as she doesn't want to make everyone more upset than they already were. Ida and King continue to fight Titan Belos but get hurt in the process. The Collector, begging for this to stop, starts to cry and ask what is this, referring to his tears. I'm not aware if this is the first time the Collector has cried like this, but if it is, this is probably one of the first times he didn't want anyone else to get hurt. Belos is about to take out Ida, King, and the Collector, but Luz comes in just in time to save them in her new form. I think this is definitely the best design Luz has yet. I like how it takes elements from both her Good Witch Azura outfit and King. The hair is also incredible. I don't know if this has an official name yet, so for now I'll just call her Titan Luz. Once Ida and King realize that it's loose, they turn back to normal, but Belos has taken over the Titan so much to the point where he is able to move it. They all proceed to take off in an orb surrounded by glyphs that Luce conjured, but once they realize everyone else is in danger, the Collector takes off to go and help everybody else. Luce, Ida, and King make their way to the center of the castle and start to get rid of the corruption that Belos has caused. The animation in this scene is beautiful and the music makes it 10 times better. I like how Luce has both glyph and Titan magic, meaning that Ida and King can also try to teach her how to do stuff. However, Belos continues to corrupt the Titan and starts to raise the Titan's hand up. Luce, Ida, and King then make their way to the sky. We then cut back to Camila and the Hex Squad as they continue to save all the puppets. However, because of Belos moving the Titan, it causes them to get off balance, but thankfully the Collector is able to keep them stabilized. You can tell that the Collector's powers have gotten weaker because if we compare the color of the strings from the beginning of the episode to the color now, it has gotten a lot darker. Luce, Ida, and King overwatch what Belos has done to the Titan, and Luce says they have to cut Belos off from the Titan's power. Ida asks Luce how are they going to do that, and Luce tells Ida that she knows where magic comes from. The three of them together then exclaim the heart at the same time and charge directly at Belos. This is a direct reference to Season 1 Episode 4, where Ida asks Luce where she thinks magic comes from. They make their way inside the castle and Ida finds Rain trapped inside and saves them. It was nice seeing Ida and Rain meet up again, well, at least be able to talk to each other again. The four of them make their way to the throne room where Belos is just sitting there attached to the heart. And oh my frog, was this fight scene amazingly animated. I am a sucker for well animated fights and this one is so good. I loved it when Luce said now eat this sucker, which is a direct reference to the first episode of the show. Luce is finally able to rip Belos off the heart and everything goes back to normal, besides the hand of the Titan being completely tilted. The Hex Squad is even able to accept the Collector for helping them save everyone. For one last attempt at survival, Belos tries to convince Luce that the terrible witch cursed him, which caused him to do all that horrible stuff. But now he was free, which we all know is not true, including Luce, as she doesn't respond to a single thing Belos says. It starts to rain, and since the rain is boiling, it begins to melt Belos' skin off to show the monster he truly is. He tells Luce that if she doesn't help him, she would be just as evil as those witches, and tells Luce that they're human and are better than this. The craziest part about this is that neither of them is even human at this point. Belos is this weird goop monster and Luce is basically a Titan. Ida, King, and Rain then walk up to Belos and proceed to step on him aggressively. It's safe to say he's never coming back. Luce's Titan magic is then taken away and King kind of gets to see his dad for the first time, even if it's just his spirit. Before Luce hits the ground, Ida and King are able to catch her. We then find out what message King's dad had for King, and it turned out to be a bread pun, fitting since that seems to be King's favorite type of joke. They were all finally able to beat Belos, once and for all. Alright, that's part 2 of my breakdown for the Owl House finale. If you want to watch part 1, it should be in the description. Part 3 will come out in the future eventually. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and always remember to stay safe, have fun, and watch cartoons. Bye!